The only person who gets to torture my brother is me.
What if the girl who dropped piranhas into a swimming pool turned out to be the only one who could stop a centuries-old vendetta that threatened to wipe out an entire school of supernatural outcasts? Welcome to the twisted, dark, and addictively gothic world of Wednesday Addams, where being normal is the real curse and solving murders is just another day at boarding school. The story begins with revenge served cold and wet. Wednesday, Addams finds her younger brother Pugsley stuffed into a locker, an apple shoved in his mouth like a roasted pig. Through a psychic vision triggered by touch, she sees exactly who orchestrated this humiliation: the school's water polo team. Her response? 2 bags of live piranhas released into the pool during practice. As jocks scramble for their lives, blood tinting the water, Wednesday stands motionless, watching the chaos unfold with the faintest hint of satisfaction. She doesn't smile. Wednesday never smiles, but her eyes reveal something far more dangerous than happiness: justice. This isn't just sibling loyalty, it's a statement. Nobody messes with a member of the Addams family and walks away unscathed. But this act of aquatic vengeance comes with consequences. It's Wednesday's 8th expulsion in 5 years, and her parents, Gomez and Morticia Addams, have reached their limit. Their solution? Nevermore Academy, a boarding school in Jericho, Vermont, specifically designed for outcasts: werewolves, vampires, sirens, gorgons, and psychics who don't fit into the normal world. It's where Morticia herself once thrived, leaving behind a legendary legacy of academic excellence, fencing championships, and social dominance. For Wednesday, it sounds like a nightmare. She doesn't want to follow in her mother's shadow. She wants to forge her own path, preferably one that doesn't involve forced social interaction or school spirit. The Academy's very name, Nevermore, comes from Edgar Allan Poe's haunting poem, The Raven, setting the tone for a place where darkness is celebrated, not hidden. Upon arrival at Nevermore, Wednesday meets her impossibly cheerful roommate, Enid Sinclair, a werewolf with a serious problem she hasn't wolfed out yet. In werewolf culture, this makes Enid a late bloomer, an outcast among outcasts. She's bubbly, colorful, obsessed with social media, and everything Wednesday despises. Their dorm room becomes a battleground of aesthetics. Enid's side explodes with rainbow colors and pop culture posters, while Wednesday claims her territory in stark black and white, adding a window made entirely of stained glass depicting various torture devices. They're polar opposites forced to coexist, and it's exactly the kind of dynamic that will either implode spectacularly or become the foundation of an unlikely friendship. Enid tries desperately to break through Wednesday's walls with enthusiasm and kindness, while Wednesday responds with deadpan insults and death stares. Yet beneath the surface tension, something unexpected begins to grow. But Wednesday's attention quickly shifts when she has her first major psychic vision during the school's traditional Poe Cup race, a competition where teams dress as characters from Edgar Allan Poe stories and race across a lake. Mid-competition, Wednesday touches an oar and is violently thrust into a vision of a student named Rowan being attacked by a horrifying creature in the woods. When the vision ends, she's convinced something terrible is about to happen. Her psychic abilities, inherited through generations of Addams women, have never been this vivid, this urgent. Here's where things get twisted. That same night at a local carnival, Rowan confronts Wednesday in the woods, claiming she's a threat that must be eliminated. He shows her a drawing from an old book, a prophecy depicting Wednesday destroying Nevermore Academy. Before he can kill her with his telekinetic powers, a monstrous creature emerges from the darkness and tears Rowan apart right before her eyes. Wednesday watches in horror as this thing, humanoid but grotesque, covered in pale skin and moving with unnatural speed, commits murder with surgical brutality. But when she reports it to Sheriff Galpin and Principal Weems, they don't believe her. Even more disturbing, Rowan appears the next day, alive and well, claiming he simply left campus. Wednesday knows what she saw, and she's determined to prove she's not losing her mind. What Wednesday doesn't know yet is that Principal Weems is a shapeshifter who impersonated Rowan to cover up his death and protect Nevermore's reputation. The real Rowan is dead, buried in the woods, and a monster is loose in Jericho. Enter the investigation phase, and this is where Wednesday truly comes alive. She begins her amateur detective work with the help of Thing, a disembodied hand who followed her from home and serves as her loyal assistant. Wednesday starts documenting everything in her typewriter, crafting a mystery novel based on the events unfolding around her, with herself as the protagonist. Viper. She's convinced the creature is connected to Nevermore, and she's going to find out why. Her investigation becomes an obsession, consuming every waking moment. Along the way, Wednesday encounters Xavier Thorpe, a psychic artist whose paintings literally come to life. He's intrigued by Wednesday, much to the annoyance of his ex-girlfriend, Bianca Barclay, a siren and Nevermore's undisputed queen bee until Wednesday's arrival. Their rivalry ignites immediately during a fencing match where Wednesday actually defeats Bianca, drawing blood and shattering her unbeaten record. Bianca's siren powers allow her to manipulate people with her voice, making her formidable, but Wednesday is immune to psychological games. She doesn't care about social hierarchies or popularity contests, which makes her dangerous to Bianca's carefully constructed kingdom. For someone who's controlled every social situation at Nevermore for years, Wednesday's indifference is more threatening than any direct challenge. Wednesday also befriends Eugene Ottinger, a sweet, nerdy beekeeper who reminds her of Pugsley. Eugene becomes her unofficial sidekick in the investigation, eager to help despite the obvious danger. He idolizes Wednesday, seeing in her the confidence and fearlessness he wishes he possessed. And then there's Tyler Galpin, the sheriff's son who works as a barista at the local coffee shop, the Weather Vane. Tyler is a normie, a regular human, but he's drawn to Wednesday's darkness, and she finds him useful for transportation and information about the town. Their relationship develops slowly, with Tyler providing Wednesday access to crime scenes and helping her investigate off campus. He brings her quad espressos over ice and listens to her morbid theories without judgment. For the first time, Wednesday seems almost interested in someone. The mystery deepens when Wednesday discovers the creature is a Hyde, a rare and dangerous type of outcast that transforms into a monster under the control of a master. Hydes are unpredictable, violent, and incredibly strong, and they only obey one person who unlocks their powers through psychological manipulation and trauma. The question becomes, who is the Hyde and who is controlling it? Wednesday researches obsessively, learning that Hydes were once considered so dangerous that they were hunted to near extinction. Wednesday's investigation leads her to uncover Nevermore's secret society, the Nightshades, hidden behind a statue of Edgar Allan Poe in the library. To access their chamber, you must solve a riddle and snap twice, a clever nod to the Addams family's iconic theme. The Nightshades were originally founded to protect outcasts from persecution, but they've become more of an elite social club. Both Morticia and Principal Weems were members, adding another layer to the complicated legacy Wednesday is trying to escape. Through her visions, Wednesday begins seeing her ancestor, Goody Addams, a powerful psychic from the 1600s who lived in Jericho when it was still a pilgrim settlement. Goody serves as Wednesday's spirit guide, revealing that the town's founder, Joseph Crackstone, was a fanatical pilgrim who despised outcasts. He accused them of witchcraft and heresy, locking them, including Goody's mother, in a barn and burning them alive. Goody survived and used her powers to defeat Crackstone, sealing him in a coffin with a blood lock that could only be opened by one of her descendants. This history isn't just ancient grudges, it's directly connected to the current murders. The past and present are colliding in ways Wednesday is only beginning to understand. As bodies pile up with surgical precision, body parts removed from victims, Wednesday suspects Xavier might be the Hyde. His paintings of the creature seem too accurate, too detailed. She even steals one of his artworks for evidence. But during the school's Raven Dance, where Wednesday awkwardly attends with Tyler while Xavier watches from the sidelines with obvious jealousy, the truth begins to shift. Wednesday wears a vintage black dress that once belonged to Morticia, and for one night she allows herself to almost enjoy the experience. Almost. The real turning point comes when Eugene stakes out the monster's cave alone while Wednesday attends the dance. He's brutally attacked and left in critical condition, barely clinging to life. Wednesday is devastated. This is personal now. She abandoned him to go to a dance, and her friend nearly died because of it. The guilt drives her investigation into overdrive, transforming her from curious detective into vengeful hunter. Then comes Parents' Weekend, which brings its own chaos. Gomez is arrested for the 30-year-old murder of Garrett Gates, a normie student who died on Nevermore grounds during Gomez and Morticia's time at the school. It's revealed that Garrett was poisoned before Morticia stabbed him in self-defense, but the question of who poisoned him remains unanswered. The Gates family has harbored hatred for outcasts for generations, and their vendetta runs deep, spanning decades and feeding on loss. Wednesday's suspicions shift when she visits Dr. Kinbot, her court-appointed therapist. Could she be the Hyde master? The evidence points in multiple directions, creating a maze of false leads and red herrings. But the truth is far more sinister than Wednesday imagined. In a shocking moment, Wednesday has a vision while kissing Tyler. The touch triggers her psychic ability, and she sees Tyler transforming into the Hyde, sees him committing the murders she's been investigating. He's the monster. The boy who brought her coffee, who drove her around Jericho, who seemed genuinely interested in her. He's been the killer all along. Wednesday confronts him, and Tyler confesses, but there's more to the story. Hydes don't act alone. Someone unlocked his abilities and has been controlling him, orchestrating every murder with calculated precision. That someone is Marilyn Thornhill, the sweet, kind botany teacher and Wednesday's dorm mother, except her real name is Laurel Gates, Garrett's sister, who supposedly drowned as a child. She faked her death, changed her identity, and infiltrated Nevermore years ago, waiting for the perfect moment to execute her revenge. Laurel is a descendant of Joseph Crackstone, and she's been using Tyler to collect body parts for a dark ritual to resurrect her ancestor. She poisoned Garrett all those years ago, framing Gomez and setting in motion decades of pain. The final piece Laurel needs is Wednesday's blood. As a direct descendant of Goody Addams, Wednesday's blood can break the seal on Crackstone's coffin. Laurel kidnaps Wednesday, kills Principal Weems in cold blood when she tries to intervene, and successfully resurrects Crackstone during a blood moon. The undead pilgrim rises with one mission: destroy every outcast, starting with Nevermore Academy. Wednesday is stabbed by Crackstone and left for dead, but Goody Addams appears one final time, offering Wednesday a deal. She can use her powers to heal Wednesday, but it will cost Goody her eternal existence. Wednesday will never see her spirit guide again. Wednesday accepts. Goody's essence flows through her, healing the fatal wound and giving her the strength to fight back. Goody reveals that the only way to kill Crackstone permanently is to stab him through the heart with a weapon forged from her own bloodline. The climactic battle erupts on Nevermore's campus during Crackstone's assault. Wednesday confronts the undead pilgrim armed with Goody's knowledge and a sword passed down through her family. Tyler, still in his Hyde form, attacks the students, and here's where Enid's arc reaches its emotional peak. Throughout the season, she struggled with her inability to transform, feeling inadequate and broken. But when Wednesday is in danger, when her friend needs her most, Enid finally wolfs out for the first time. Her transformation is spectacular. Fur, claws, fangs, and she fights Tyler in an epic clash of monsters, ultimately defeating the Hyde and saving lives. Meanwhile, Eugene wakes from his coma just in time to join the fight. He arrives with a massive swarm of bees, attacking Laurel Gates and proving that even the sweetest outcasts have a vicious side when protecting their school. Bianca uses her siren powers to help Wednesday fight Crackstone, and together they coordinate the final blow. Wednesday stabs Crackstone through the heart, destroying him permanently and breaking the curse that has haunted her family for centuries. In the aftermath, Tyler is arrested and taken into custody. Xavier is released from jail, where he'd been wrongly imprisoned as a suspect. Laurel Gates is defeated, stung nearly to death by Eugene's bees. Principal Weems is dead, a casualty of Laurel's ruthlessness. Nevermore Academy closes for the semester to recover from the trauma, and students prepare to leave campus. But Wednesday has changed. She hugs Enid voluntarily, acknowledging their friendship. She says goodbye to Eugene, who she now considers like a brother. She even receives her first cell phone from Xavier, dragging her reluctantly into the 21st century. As she leaves campus, Wednesday seems to have finally found her place, not by following her mother's legacy, but by creating her own. Yet the mystery isn't over. In the final scene, Wednesday receives anonymous messages on her new phone. Photos of herself with Tyler, with Xavier, accompanied by a threatening text, "I'm watching you." Someone has been stalking Wednesday all along, photographing her every move. The Crackstone case is closed, but a new threat has emerged, setting up a future filled with even darker mysteries. This is Wednesday Addams, a girl who solves murder mysteries, fights resurrected pilgrims, and forms unlikely friendships while maintaining her signature deadpan delivery and morbid worldview. She's an outcast among outcasts, a detective in a world of monsters, and a teenager trying to escape her mother's shadow while discovering her own identity. Heartless and antisocial is exactly the hero the world needs when ancient evil rises from the grave.